I might like to. Molly, how you got the schedule?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We're going to call the special city council meeting of the governor's region today at July 27th at 5 p.m. Call to order. Establishing a forum. Mayor Candy Cargill present. Councilmember David Burns Jr.
Present.
Councilmember Matt Hurd.
Present.
Councilmember Clifford Pugh is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Rodney Drughill.
Here.
And Councilmember Brian Moses.
Present.
And we have a forum. So now if we stand for prayer and allegiance. Heavenly Father, as we gather for the special city council meeting, grant us wisdom to discern, courage to decide, and humility to listen. Keep our words thoughtful, our actions honorable, and our focus on faithfully serving the people of Blanco. May we leave this room knowing we have done the best for our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas, one state, under God, and one indivisible.
Thank you. And we can in for okay. We have two seconds.
Mayor Council, just a real quick one here. It's more questions than I can answer that. Regarding this resolution, just received it. It appears that you all need to. So I asked about when did the council receive it? Who drafted it? Why now? Why wasn't it available earlier? And then, would the council consider delaying the vote for adequate review? Some time to look over it to understand what the legal ramifications are of this wording, and that it is a legal document. So, seems like they'll just receive it. It could get some eyes on it and understand before you go on. Thank you.
And with that, we move on into new business and consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on the following. Discussion, consideration, and take possible action to confirm and ratify without conceding any lack of prior authority the city's prior authorization and actions taken by the city's authorized representative and city attorney in connection with the filing of prosecution of the city versus the Judicial District Court of Travis County, State of Texas, including related filings, communications, proceedings, and to authorize city attorney and appropriate city officials to take all actions necessary or appropriate in connection with this matter. And before I turn the floor over, I want to get an email from Bill Hughes, and he said that he was sorry he would not be here for tonight's meeting, but he wanted to voice his support to ratify and confirm prior to the prior for authorization of actions upon his order. So now I will give the floor to Mr. Tuckey.
Council,
Yes.
this agenda item addresses some questions. Travis County case concerning the full extent of the city. The purpose of the resolution tonight, this special meeting, is to consider conferring and ratifying prior actions taken on behalf of the city, and to confirm the authorities of the legal representation without conceding any lack of prior authorization. Ultimately, if you do move forward, the court over Travis County will ultimately decide the legal significance of your action. Now, for additional clarity, I want to recommend one minor revision to the draft resolution that was posted and, that I have, given over to the city secretary. Wherever the resolution refers to the term, quote, city attorney, unquote, I'm recommending that you substitute the words, quote, Tim Tuggy, unquote. This revision, removes possible ambiguity regarding the individual whose prior actions are being ratified and its future legal representation being confirmed. Well, it leaves, leaves the substance and purpose of the resolution unchanged. So with that, I see no need for executive session on this matter. I would recommend it. I'm available for questions. Recommend approval of the resolution with the recommended revision. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Tuggy?
Yes, I sure wish you would have been here. It's been a whole lot
I know.
easier. But,
Any
When-
here?
when was this resolution first introduced to the rest of the council? Because tonight, as I walk in this meeting, it's the first time I'm seeing this resolution.
The resolution, tracks the meaning, Tim Guy's substance with the revision I just mentioned just now. I've not presented that revision to anyone except Lincoln. That's it.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what your question really is. I did provide to council, I believe, all of council, the original motion to show authority, which is the reason we're here, which was filed in the Travis County Court by Mr. Polachak, along with the response I filed on behalf of the state, of the city, in that matter. So, and those are the, in my view, the relevant pleadings that, are pending over there in Travis County. In that, by the way, in that response, I referenced the possibility, and it's said by the court, that the city council may take a meeting to discuss clarification.
Okay. So that still didn't quite, I don't feel like that answered the question. Main deal is I'm looking at a resolution here tonight, and it's the first time I've seen it. I understand, yeah, a lot of it matches the wording of the agenda, but this is the first time I've seen the resolution, but I'm willing to let that go and still ask some questions moving on. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is we're ratifying tonight. Are we ratifying just the lawsuit being filed, or are we also ratifying the actions that were taken prior and after the filing of the lawsuit?
You're ratifying all actions related to the matter that's pending over there in Travis County. The administrative action that preceded it, as well as the subsequent review, a legal review, the whole process.
Okay.
To the extent of prior actions taken on behalf of the city.
So this proposed action authorizes continued prosecution, future legal expenses, settlement decisions, and possibly appeal afterwards.
I'm sorry. You mean in the future? Yes,
Yes.
it would.
Okay.
It would, but it would only grant authority.
Okay.
It would grant authority, and that's the question that's been raised over there. In my regular practice, as I think you know, and as the rest of the council knows, I have a professional duty to keep council informed, and they typically do that through the mayor and city administrator, and then regularly at city council meetings, in open session and executive session.
So what legal authority did the city rely upon when filing this lawsuit? Prior to filing this lawsuit, what authority was used in order to file this lawsuit?
I laid that out in detail in the response I filed to Mr. Polachak's motion in the court. But it derives directly from my contract with the city where I'm to execute on matters assigned to me by the city and its designees. I was assigned this, and this is again, all in the pleading that I provided to you all earlier, as well as filed with the court. I was assigned this matter, actually, it was a couple different public information matters that came in from Mr. Polizak through the city secretary, who regularly handles these matters at the administrative level. And then I acted upon it going forward. So it's clearly assigned to me under my contract, and I acted without authority, under that authority.
Okay, so you're saying your contract specifically lays that out, that you're allowed to file litigation without council approval?
I think on the bare bones of the contract, when you speak of the word authority, unquote, I think it does. However, from a professional duty point of view, I would never unilaterally, without informing any representative of the city, do such a thing. I never have. In this case, I consulted with both the mayor, the city administrator, and subsequently briefed on 2 different occasions the entire city council. So
Let me address those 2 things separately. So your contract specifically states that you're to do as directed by either the authorized agent or the council itself, correct? Who specifically directed you to file this lawsuit?
no one directed me to file a lawsuit. I came to the city. Well, first of all, I was assigned this matter through the processes that have always been in place. The city secretary assigned the matter to me as a designee of the city. When the matter was presented as a possibility needing to go to a judicial review, I consulted with the mayor and the city administrator before proceeding. No one, in that sense, directed me, but that's not a question of authority in my mind. It's a question of following, seeking my client's guidance and approval before I take certain actions.
So part of what you're telling me is the historical course of action by you handling public information requests and stuff such in the past authorizes you to do whatever is necessary and with public information and litigation that derives from those instances. That's what you're telling me, the historical course of action. And
That's part of it. But the beginning of it is the assignment of the matter. Because the document, the contract I have says I will take up matters that are assigned to me by the city or its designees. And so, yes, it's an assigned, there's historical evidence of that, in as much as every public information item that's required AG review since I was put under contract in late 2021, every one of them has come to me. And in that process, it starts an administrative process where if the city should have thrown an objection, I typically decide on that basis and my professional judgment what deserves an objection or not. I'm always consulting with the city secretary or the city admin or the mayor. Typically, those 3 people are in the orbit. And so, yes, that pattern, but that pattern alone is not sufficient in my view. It's part of evidence of the authority, and it confirms authority, as I've laid out in the plea to the court.
okay, so just to make sure I heard properly, no one truly authorized you to file this lawsuit.
No council member, no mayor, no city.
Well, I think the city council, this city authorized.
But yeah.
Twice in executive session,
Yeah,
council members,
twice.
this
And-
council gave the directive to
Yes.
the city attorney, Tim Tuggy.
To file the lawsuit?
Not, maybe,
To answer it,
yeah,
it
to
was answered.
work on our behalf, given the direction we gave him to move forward. And in my mind, this legal maneuver was exactly in line with what we had asked for.
We didn't start it.
That's not at all what I'm asking. What I'm asking is why there was litigation filed without prior notice to the city council, who is your client, in your contract. We were not notified ahead of time. One point I would like to make is this matter was obviously important enough to call a special meeting now to try to ratify it afterwards. Why was there not a special meeting called ahead of time to ratify it before the litigation was filed in the first place? Handling public information requests and filing major litigation against the Attorney General of the state of Texas are two very different things. That's in my view. And that's what I'm trying to get down to the bottom of, is I'm trying to find a source of the authority of why this. I'm not finding in the information that was provided to me anywhere that gives you the authority or the mayor or the city administrator to file a lawsuit without prior notice to the city council. I want to know, where does that authorization derive from?
Councilman, irregardless for tonight's agenda, irregardless of how you feel about the authority or not, merits of taking that action, the question presented tonight for you and the rest of the council is, do you or do you not want to ratify and confirm prior authorization and action and confirm future action on this matter? The source of that authority, I've laid that out in the pleadings to the court, and the court will decide.
Court will decide, and the court has not decided at this point. So you're asking us to act upon essentially a legal point that has not been proven yet. You're asking us to without conceding any lack of prior authority. I have not identified any source of prior authority for you to file this suit yet. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It's just in the information that has been provided to me by the city and by you. I have not been able to identify the authority which allows you to file a suit without prior notice to the city council. I may be incorrect, and I'm happy to be corrected with any of the information that I'm not aware of. I want to know ordinance, city charter, contracts, anything that specifically authorizes this litigation. And I'm not able to find that. And I'm asking you to please help produce that for me.
And I have responded to the extent I can.
Okay, that's fair.
I've laid that out in reply to Mr. Polachek's motion to show authority, which I might add is, well, I don't want to talk about his prior agreement to an agreed order that's in place in that proceeding. But fact is, to answer your question, my response to the best extent I could possibly give it right now is what I'm talking to you about tonight, as well as what I pleaded to the court. And as you do, as I think we both agree that the court is going to make the final decision on this ultimate question that you raised.
Okay, so if prior authority existed for you to file this litigation, why are we here ratifying it tonight?
I think it would tend to confirm the prior authorization. It's more evidence of prior authorization. I have no doubt in my mind that the authorization is there. But as I pointed out to the court, as I've told you by providing you copies, I think this will tend to confirm of that authority, but the court will decide the legal import of this action or not. I have the opinion that it would tend to confirm that prior authority. And we're not conceding, in this resolution, we're not conceding the lack of any prior authority.
I'd like to mention something, when we first started talking about this before council was briefed, the mayor and I did talk to Tim, and we discussed this at length. We also discussed this as, well, I agree it's a lawsuit. It's really an appeal, a decision made by the Attorney General's office, and that is pretty simply the way we're looking at it.
Yeah, it's not like a lawsuit. I'm suing Kenneth Welsh for damages. There are no damages. This is just a disagreement, and in legal terms, it's called a suit.
Isn't it?
No,
Okay, well, can you tell me if we approve this tonight, what effect will that have on the ongoing case at the moment?
Well, the status of the case right now, I'm not sure to answer your question. I can tell you the status of the case. The status of the case is there are 14 documents, the total of 88 documents that were responsive found in this matter, 74 of them, to my best recollection, City Secretary may correct me, but 74, I think, is the right number that was produced to the requester. There are 14 documents that were submitted under an agreed order that the city signed, Attorney General signed, and Mr. Politak signed, that have been submitted under a confidentiality protective order to the AG. The AG is reviewing those to determine whether they are subject to either disclosure or withholding. The claim for confidentiality on each of those 14 documents is only attorney-client privilege, and that's it. That's the status of the matter. I expect, and I have reported this to City Council, including you, I expect some kind of response, I hope, in the next month from the Attorney General.
Please forgive me for all the questions. I'm not an attorney, so I don't know. What would be the effect if we do not pass this resolution tonight? Could you please tell me what the effect would be for that?
We're not conceding any lack of authority. Legally, I don't think it would have any effect. Of course, I'd expect that Mr. Polizak would be overjoyed.
Not sure I understand that answer, but okay. Well, part of,
does anybody else have any questions?
yeah, if anybody else, I'm not done yet either. Part of what we're asked to do as council members is not only sit here and decide what to ratify, we're also in charge of the budget and overlooking expenditures of the people's tax money. Can you tell me how much we have invested in this issue up to date, as of your last invoice? Because I know we're calling it not a lawsuit, not a big deal, but how much does the city and the citizens have invested in this issue?
I don't know the answer off the top of my head. I'd have to go back, and I could certainly provide it to you. I will tell you that I personally, city attorney, attorney representing the city, and as Gilstrap, one of my colleagues who assists me from time to time, none of our attorney time with respect to procedurally placing this before, and by that I mean the cost of prepping a filing and making a filing, that cost was not passed on to the city.
May I ask why?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
He asked
Why exactly would you not pass those costs on to the city?
I felt that it was important to, reduce my fee in the matter. I've reduced my fee, several times throughout the course of my representation.
Do you have any idea on how much beyond what we've spent, how much in the future is this particular issue of litigation going to cost the city? On estimate, I know you don't know.
On this matter,
Yes,
it depends upon, what response comes out of the city, the AG's open records division attorneys. Well, my expectation is there will be a friendly, quote unquote, I think there'll probably be a settlement of this matter. I'm expecting that it'll cost maybe $2,000 to $4,000 at most. But that's just a rough estimate based upon, what I think the case is, and I don't know how the AG is gonna ultimately answer the matter.
well, I could do this all night, but I'm not gonna do that to you. I've got a lot of questions, but I'll end with a little statement here.
if you have any questions that are directly concerning this, that's fine, but I mean, don't get off.
No, I'm not gonna get off the base. I'm gonna make a statement to say that I've presented some questions here. One of the big things that really hangs me up is without conceding any lack of prior authority. With the information that has been presented to me, I do not feel that I have found any authority prior to filing this lawsuit. Once again, maybe that authority exists. That has not been proven to me, and I'm asking to vote for something that, without conceding the lack of prior authority, that has not been proven. So that's just obviously my one man's opinion. You can take it and leave it as it is, but I'm sorry, I don't see how anybody could pass this because I do not see anywhere where the council directed this. I do understand the public information request and the process that was being undertaken, but it was my understanding that there was sample information that was asked for by the Attorney General, and that sample information was not submitted. Because that information was not submitted, the AG ruled that all of this stuff must become public, and therefore the filing of this lawsuit became necessary. I look back and wonder what would have happened if we would have submitted that sample information before the deadline as requested by the Attorney General. But because we lack follow through and we lack the ability to take the steps necessary, we find ourselves in a deeper predicament, which is costing the taxpayers money. And we've now filed suit against the state of Texas, the Attorney General is saying. We can call it an appeal, whatever you want. It's a lawsuit. It's costing us money. We have to answer the taxpayers for it. My questions have not been answered. I'm sorry that I will not be able to vote in support of this. Sorry. You guys got anything to add to that?
Me?
I'm asking if you guys
I've
have
got
anything to add
so
to
does
that.
anybody else have anything to say? Any questions for Mr. Kirby?
Well, I think Councilmember Moses brings up an excellent point. Whenever we look at exploring legal representation in a conflict, we always have to weigh whether the cost of the representation will exceed the possible cost of damages if we settle. Correct? This is something we will, right? But I think we obviously we had a difference of opinion on this, but I think that we've decided in this case that it is in the taxpayers' best interest to pursue this legal maneuver in order to protect client attorney privilege and some outstanding legal actions, which I think they're well aware of.
One question. Do you know what information it is we are fighting?
Generally, it is client attorney privilege that is related to these outstanding cases against the city. And the person that we have entrusted and have hired and empowered to represent us has consulted us.
Well, and I have to
In
say,
that direction.
even if I knew them, by memory verbatim, I wouldn't quote it right now because we have the opposite side sitting in the room.
Absolutely, but
And it's kind of attorney-client privilege.
I, as one of the members of the client, I understand attorney-client privilege completely. Understand. Part of that is attorney, part of it is client, part of it is privileged information. If it is protected under attorney-client privilege, why is the attorney only allowed to give us information? I would like to see the information. I'm not asking for it in electronic or PDF form. I'm asking for it in a printed form so that I can come into a controlled environment, whether it be at the city office or the Byars building or the mayor's office. And I want to lay eyes on this information that we are fighting to protect so that I can make an educated decision on whether or not this information is worth fighting to protect. Part of being the client is, I would think the client is entitled to seeing the attorney-client privileged information. But yet I have been denied the ability to see that information.
Have you ever asked?
Yes, I have
Yes.
that. I put it in writing to an email to you, to the administrator.
We're getting way off in the weeds.
It had, no, but this is all interconnected with this.
Actually, the request is coming from an individual that is himself suing the city right now for damages.
Correct.
So I understand the question could be taken up separately. I would recommend it be taken up separately. The client here is the city and the governing body. And only the governing body can waive the privilege. I certainly cannot, and no individual member of the council cannot. But to respond to the question, I would say that's a matter for another day, not tonight to do.
We're asking, I just feel that we're being asked to vote on something without being provided all of the information. I think it's a notable situation.
And council member, I'm not a lawyer and I have the deepest respect for you and what you do for the city every day, but you are in a compromised position. As the client, and as somebody who was also actively suing the city.
Texas state law clearly states the only thing that
Sorry, Tim.
is to be protected from me is stuff that has to do specifically with my lawsuit. Attorney, essentially, attorney theory and stuff like that. You would have to prove a specific link between my case and why it has anything to do or on this case. I have no confidence.
I'm not an attorney, but I think you have a conflict. That's my personal opinion.
Not a lawyer. I'm trusted in our city attorney. Yeah. That's why I got a CPA. I've got my own personal attorney. My faith is in him. He's the one that represents the city, and I'm hoping that he takes us in the right direction. If you're wrong, but you might as well be speaking Chinese right now. And the way I feel, my faith's in Tim Tuggy right now. And if he's asking us to ratify what you thought was in the best interest of the Blanco, city of Blanco, I'm gonna go with it.
I feel redundant sign that I agree.
Parliament,
Yeah, I don't mind redundant.
One last question, does this set a precedence going forward that a lawsuit could be filed at any time?
moving forward, does this give Kentucky, I guess, that's it.
Blanket.
Does it give, Ken, does it give you a blanket to do whatever you want?
No,
I mean,
no.
you know, this is one
You don't
little
believe the same
section, but I
precedent?
mean, let's say moving forward, something else happens in a month from now, and then we're not made aware, and then you do something again, and then we're in the same boat 3 weeks from now.
Are you saying that I would have open license to, based on this activity, I would have open license to just unilaterally file something on behalf of the city?
Yes,
No, I would not.
okay, but this is a one-time thing for this scenario.
So this scenario, yes. Each scenario is a separate situation. The question was, does it set a precedent? No. No precedent.
It's because this even identifies a call number.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, it's okay. I appreciate the question. I think I've heard enough.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shot at this.
Matt,
No, as far as I'm concerned, he's already consulted with the mayor, we consulted with the city administrator. He found out, throwing out the rule that he can do that in, I'm okay.
yeah, any motion, do we need to correct the language?
Yes.
I have provided you a revised copy.
So I'm gonna move that we confirm and ratify resolution number 2026-R-014 without conceding any lack of prior authority, the city's prior authorization, actions taken by the city authorized representative and city, and Tim Tuggy, our city attorney, in connection with filing the prosecution of City of Blanco versus Office of Attorney General of State of Texas, case number D-1-GN-26-003164, in the 419th Judicial District Court of Travis County, Texas, including any related filings, communications, and proceedings, and authorize Tim Tuggy, the city's attorney, and appropriate city officials to take all further actions necessary or appropriate in connection with this matter.
You want a motion, do I have a second?
Okay.
Motion second, any other comments or questions? Question. All those in favor? All those opposed? So it passes 3-1. And do I have another motion?
This is your
Motion adjourned.
Any discussion?
Okay.
All in favor? Okay, passes. Adjourn at 5:42.